Welcome to the SEIS New Features session. My name is Christy Swenson, and I am a program manager with SEIS. And I am really excited to host this session because I get to present to you the new homepage redesign and our new features. So that is really exciting. But before we begin, since this is the first session for the day, we're going to do just a quick Zoom recap just to show you where everything is. And I'm going to stop my video since my screen's on the other side. All right, so as a quick Zoom recap, all sessions will be recorded and they will be posted to the conference website after the conference. Of course, with all the different videos that are going on, it's going to take quite a bit of time for all the videos to kind of render and get uploaded to our server. So just give it a little bit of time. The materials have been posted to the conference website. So where you click join event, there'll be a link for you to download the materials. Everybody is muted. So if you have any questions throughout the session, don't hesitate to enter those questions into the Q&A. I have Laura Mahoney with me who will be manning the Q&A. She'll be answering all your questions. And if there is some time at the end, she will pick out some questions at random for me to answer verbally. The reason why you want to enter all your questions into the Q&A, one is that's where Laura is going to be. And the Q&A will be downloaded and sent to all attendees after the conference. So you will get all those answers. We also have closed captioning available. So if you need that option on your Zoom toolbar, you'll have the little option, it's like in a little square and it says CC, and that will bring up your closed captioning. So before you can appreciate the homepage redesign, I want to show you what SEIS looks like now. Now, I'm sure you are all very familiar. You were probably already on this morning. But here is SEIS. So you can see at the top of the page, you have your SEIS news, your local news. If you happen to have your CalPads errors up, that'll take this space. And depending on how large or small your screen is, depends on maybe how far you have to scroll to actually get to your homepage notices. I have a very large screen and it still takes a couple scrolls just to get down to the bottom of the page. So with this in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the redesign. And if I could get a drum roll, please. I don't get drum rolls. Here we go. Here is the new homepage redesign. So as you can see, the top of the page is your homepage, or are your homepage notifications. We moved the SEIS news, the local news, and the CalPads errors over here to this right side that was taking all of this prime real estate from the top of the page. And so now when you log in, you see your most important notices at the top of the page. I happen to be logged in as an admin level user. Real quick, if you notice the gray bar up here, this homepage redesign is not live yet. So we are just in our testing environment. So your most important notices are at the top of the page. So as an admin level user, your teacher requests and your transfer requests, these are the most important. You have providers waiting for you to process their student change forms or add students, or you have other districts that are waiting for you to release records. So it's really important that these notices display first. We do have the follow-up notice section next because it is really, really important, as we all know, that IEPs and amendments need to be affirmed as soon as they are held, as that is the only way a transaction is going to be created to be submitted to CalPads. So it is really, really important that we just monitor these unaffirmed IEPs and unaffirmed amendments. Then as you scroll down, you have, of course, the rest of your homepage notices, your CalPads alerts. And we did try to streamline the meeting alerts so that as you scroll down, they kind of just go in sequence here. You still have your students to see your eligible and pending students. And if your district does use any of our integration features, such as our SEIS to SIS or SIS to SEIS nightly integration, or if you happen to use our Beyond SST system, that information will display here in your SEIS integration homepage notice. And then you will have your weekly user analytics. These are the users that have logged in within the last 7 days. So as we scroll back up, as you can see, yes, I'm going over here to this is where the news items are, your SEIS news, your CalPADS errors, and your local news. This feature works as it does now. If there are multiple news items, then it'll be the carousel feature. You can manually scroll or it will scroll for you, and that will be there. So yes, I purposefully left this big feature for last, is the calendar feature. And I think this feature has been requested since I started working here 8 years ago. And we were finally able to implement a calendar feature. And this is just going to allow users to be able to add any event in SEIS. So anything that's related to your day, related to SEIS. So for IEP meetings, you can do due dates, deadlines, staff meetings, school holidays and closures, anything that just works like a standard calendar. So you can see that I have a couple events already added, and for every event that I've added, you will see it underneath the calendar. So you can see what the title or the event name for all of my added events. So there are 2 ways that you can add a calendar event. The first way is you can just double click. So if I want to add an event on the 18th, I can just double click here. And there we go. It just pops up the module. So I can enter an event name. Let's just say we are going to have a staff. And then you can enter any comments about the meeting times and locations and such. And then just click add. And then there we go. It's been added and it populated my staff meeting right here on the 18th. You can also just simply click on the add event icon. So when you click on the add event icon, I'm going to put this, I didn't mean to click on the 18th. I meant to click on the 25th because I'm going to take a personal day that day because I want an extra long break. So I'm going to add a PN day. There we go. So that is how you can add an event to a calendar. Now we have one more added benefit to the calendar, which is going to be really exciting. And I wish I could see everybody clapping right now, is that we've actually tied this to the meeting notices as well. So when you generate a meeting notice for an IEP or an upcoming meeting, once that meeting notice is completed and saved, it will automatically link to your calendar and add a calendar invite, or a calendar event, I should say. So let me show you how that works. So if I just go to student IEPs and I'm just going to pick a student here. And we go to the meeting notice form. So this section here, so here's the date of our meeting. We're going to have it on the 16th. The time, sure, it's 12:30. For your location of your meeting, of course, it could be the physical location. Maybe you're going to have a Zoom meeting. So however your meeting notices work, however you document that information, you could even say Zoom meeting. And here, if maybe you've already created the Zoom link or the meeting link, you can just insert that here. So I can say, here's my Zoom link. Oh yeah, that's what it did. Will be provided. Maybe we just haven't created it yet. So I'm just going to click save and return here. And now here is my meeting event for that IEP meeting. So if you want to view the details, so say I know I have a meeting, but what was that location? What was that time? You simply just click in the event row and it will pop up the module. So since this pulled from the IEP form, these fields will be read-only because they would need to be edited on the form itself. But you can at least see that information, the time, the date, the room location. And if for some reason, you needed to go back and edit the information, edit the date or the time, you can click on the View IEP button, and this will take you to the student's IEP. Or if you want to go to the student record for whatever reason, you can just click on the View Student icon button, and this will take you to their student record. For events that you manually added, when you click on the event, this will just allow you to edit the information. So if now the time has changed, I want to add more comments where I need to park or anything like that, I can just add additional comments and I can click Save Details. If for some reason the staff meeting was canceled and I no longer need that on my calendar, then I can just click Delete Event, and that will delete that from my calendar. So sometimes, you're not always in SEIS and maybe you want to download this calendar. I like to have things on paper. I want it written out for me because I want to input it in somewhere else on my personal calendar and things like that. You do also have the option to download your calendar. So from this options icon, when you click on here, you can generate a calendar report for one day, for the current month, or up for the entire year. So you can actually do a 1-year date range to download your calendar. But for this purpose, I'm just concerned with my events for this current month. And when I click Generate Report, this is going to generate an Excel document. And so you can see with mine just downloaded right to my toolbar. So wherever your computer downloads information, so sometimes it'll download to a downloads folder or maybe to your desktop. So in this instance, mine downloads to my toolbar. So now I can click on here. And let me drag this over. And here is the download. So here's all this information, and then you can just simply just print from Excel if you want to print that out. All right, so that is our calendar feature. So as we go up, you may have noticed a couple new things. You may have noticed that there is a Contact SEIS and a training materials section. If you're new to SEIS, or if you're not new to SEIS, you know that these two options have always been available. They were just under the Help Center section. So the Help Center incorporated the training materials and contacting SEIS. But there was a lot of users that never actually clicked on Help Center before. They didn't realize that you can just email SEIS from within SEIS, or that we had training materials available. So to make things just a little bit more user-friendly, we separated this out. So now when you need to contact SEIS, you need to email the SEIS help desk, you just simply click on Contact SEIS. And this will bring you to the email contact form. So again, if you've never emailed SEIS before, maybe you're a new user, then you simply just need to enter in the student SEIS ID or SSID, select kind of the topic of the request. Is this in regards to e-signatures, or are you having a computer related issue? Do you have questions about electronic signatures to kind of help guide the answer? And then of course, typing in your message. We do ask that you ask a complete message. So instead of just saying, help, I can't print, or help, I'm getting an error, maybe describe, when I'm on this student and I click on this button, I get this error. So that way we can actually try to research and troubleshoot the issue and provide you back with an answer instead of just a question on what are you trying to print or where are you seeing this error. We did add the ability to insert an image into your email and the ability to add an attachment. Most importantly, we want to make sure that your email address is correct. There's a lot of times where we'll get an email and we go to reply back and it comes back as undeliverable because the email was not correct. So definitely make sure, or to ensure that you get a response, make sure that your email address is valid and correct. All right, so training materials. The training materials section, because this is our testing site right here. Oh, I'm going to go over FAQs first. So under our training materials is our FAQs and actual training materials. So with our FAQs, we did a little revision a while back where users were having an issue when they were maybe on the searches. So they were on the search page and they just couldn't remember maybe what that darn DRDP search was, because there's quite a number of criteria that needs to be added. So they go to the Help Center, they go to the FAQs, And then they have to figure out how to do like a screen capture or take a picture of that search criteria so that they can go back to the search page and re-enter it. So what we did is we actually made the FAQs a pop-out window. So if you're on a specific page, notice a search, and you needed additional information, when you click on FAQs, it will actually just pop up in another window so that you can remain on that same page. And then you can easily just do a keyword search. And then there we go. That's what I needed. I needed this criteria for fall. This is all the criteria I need to enter. And then you didn't lose your place where you were in SEIS. With our actual training materials, as I say, because this is our training site, the materials just aren't listed here, but we do have training materials for every user level, teacher level, admin level. We have best practices. We have all of our system updates. All of our materials are up to date for this school year. Our admin and teacher level training materials have been updated for the 2021 school year, which can be downloaded and used for your own personal training or local training. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move up to the Message Center. Message Center is still there, just a new look. So on the Message Center, you notice that there are these nice new bold icons. So from here, you can easily see if there's an alert. Oh, the e-signature package is completed for this student. That's a SEIS alert. So you're going to get the alert icon. If you're actually getting a direct email from another user within the system, then you're going to see the email icon. From when you need to delete specific emails, you can just check the emails that you want to be deleted and then click the delete selected icon, button, and that will delete emails en masse. All right. Those deleted anymore. And you also have a keyword search. So sometimes you may have a ton of emails. You want to kind of keep them saved. You can do a keyword search if you're looking for a specific email. All right, so now we have another new redesign, which is to the Manage Profile page. So what you previously, or what you currently have in SEIS is you have your name with a dash and it says your user level. And then when you click on your name, you have a drop down and it kind of just lists a lot of information, but maybe sometimes it's kind of hard to see what it really relates to. There's no really titles or anything like that, or the drop down can just get extremely long. So we decided to make the Manage Profile page a little bit more like kind of comprehensive to really show you all of the information about your user profile. So now, right when you hover over, you can just click on your name. And this is going to show you your user information. So previously, if you've never gone to Manage Profile before, the only thing that you were able to do is edit your email address and phone number and reset your password. You weren't able to see maybe what districts you had access to and such, and maybe just to see it in such a clean way. So now your user information, this is what was selected when your user account was created. So of course, if you have any questions about the information, you would just reach out to your district or your SELPA. Your username, your user level, your user type, and the SELPA that you're tied to. And depending, again, what your user level is, if you are a SELPA level user, it'll show you the districts you have access to. If you are a school site level user, it's going to show you all the schools that you have access to. And if you are a provider level user, it will show you all the districts that you are shared with. With the two notifications at the bottom, the enable logout sound. So in SEIS, again, I know we have a mix of experienced users and new users, so I'm going to kind of just touch on a couple of these notices. The enable logout sound. So in SEIS, if you are inactive for 1 hour, you are going to get a notification saying, hey, your session has been inactive for an hour. You basically have 15 more minutes before we automatically log you out. That is just to keep all privacy. You shouldn't just have your SEIS open with all your confidential student information available. So sometimes SEIS would be minimized and a user would not see that that pop-up notification appeared. So it was a huge request to have a sound. It's just a ding. So that way, when you do hit that 1 hour of inactivity, you just get a ding, and then you're alerted that there's been inactivity, and so that you can either just go back to the page, refresh the page, or actually log out. For the enable email notifications, that is for anytime a message is sent to you through SEIS, through the message center. If you would like for an email to be sent to your email that you have on file, so this email here, just to kind of alert you, because you might not be in SEIS all day and you might be waiting for an email. So if you have email or enable email notifications selected, if somebody does email you through the message center, you will get a notification to your email saying, hey, you have a new message from SEIS, log into SEIS to view the message. All right, so this is just your normal contact information to update your email address, your phone number. The cell phone number is really used for the electronic signature feature. So that way the password that is entered can go directly to your cell phone and can pull into that signers module. And then to reset your password, just click on the reset password button. It'll just bring up as what you see now, where you can enter in your current password and your new password. And for the password requirements, you can just click on the info icon and it will tell you the requirements for the password. All right. Let's go out of here. And then we have the logout icon. I know, nothing fancy. It is pretty much your standard logout icon, but then now this is how you will log out of the system. We do have one other update. So I'm going to go ahead and switch profiles here and let me know if you see anything different. I am now in a provider level user account. So yes, the homepage notices are a little bit different because they are submitting requests. But if anybody happened to notice this odd green icon over here, what is this and what does it mean? This is our new chat feature. Yay! I know, everybody's clapping. The chat feature is currently only available for teacher level users, not for admins. Admin level questions at the moment are just a little bit intricate, do require a lot of research. Most of the questions are not just a simple chat reply. So we will still be using the email support for admin level users. Generally, as a provider, the questions are a little bit more straightforward, process related and such, where we can do a quick reply back. So with the chat feature, again, this is how we can close out of it. And then you will just simply, let me make sure I get back up here. And I zoomed in a little too far. So then you can just simply ask a question. Hi, SEIS. And just like we said with email, try to make sure that your question is a little specific. Even though this is a chat, we still need to know certain information, a SEIS ID, the question that you have, so that way our replies can be quick as well. So you just simply click send or hit enter, and then once the agent is available, then they will respond to your questions. You also have the ability, in case maybe you have SEIS minimized or anything like that, where you can receive the notifications that will just pop up to let you know that we have replied to your question. All right, and so I know I see a lot of questions in the Q&A, and before I kind of like get too far ahead and such, I definitely would like to answer any particular questions. Laura, do you have any questions that I can answer verbally?
Yes, hi. So a lot of the questions are surrounding when it's going to be available. That's the first one, so if you want to answer that.
That is a great question. I just say that at the beginning. This feature will be available next week. So yes, I mean, yes, how long do you have to wait to see these new features? Next week.
Okay, so So the next questions, a lot of the questions that I'm getting is, how does this new calendar feature interact with Outlook or Google Calendar?
So as of now, this is just a simple kind of like you could say data entry. So right now it is just you're adding an event and it is going to just stay right here. Of course, with the second and third phases of the calendar feature, we are definitely looking to incorporate, we knew that would pretty much be our first question, is I want to link this to my personal calendar or to Outlook. And those are definitely things that we are looking into to see how that can function. And as soon as that type of functionality is available, we will definitely alert all users.
Awesome. And then when a meeting notice is created, does that alert, or does that calendar event get placed on everyone's calendar that's like all providers, or who does that, does it show just specifically for the user that created the meeting notice?
It's going to be for the user that created the notice. So this is my notice here. Oh man, you almost got me on this one. This is something, again, this is our testing and not quite live yet. With this one, it should be just for the user that created the notice. And if that changes, I will let you know.
Perfect. Those are most of all the questions that I'm seeing. So
Okay.
if you want to continue, then I'll look.
Yeah, definitely. So no, I'd say this session, as I say, was about our new features and kind of the homepage redesign and going through this information. And I basically at this time now, it's just to answer any of the questions we have. We knew that this probably wouldn't go the full 45 minutes because we don't have that, you know, it's just a redesign, not too many particular new features. So if there's any other questions, I do see that there are quite a few chats and Q&As in there. I'm more than happy to answer any of those. Now, you can put, as I say, when you use the calendar, there is no kind of like requirement. If you want to put in due dates, so you can put in anything you want. It's just an event title. Now, you're not going to necessarily get an alert anywhere, like nothing's going to pop up and say, hey, by the way, you have this meeting tomorrow. It just displays on your events here. So if you did want to say a due date, you can indicate that, okay, progress reports, that was one I added. Progress reports are due on the 20th. I don't want to forget. I'm going to add that to my calendar. And again, adding any notes, maybe for some of the students that are attending in person, you can say for so-and-so student, it's okay if I put it in their backpack. You know, you can add any type of information into the calendar. As of now, the calendars are not shared. So as I was saying, as an admin level user, I see that that chat just came in. If you're an admin level user, you can't, unless you physically logged into that user's account, that would be the only way to actually see their particular calendar. So at this time, you can't just see what's on everybody's calendar. The e-signature package will be available for meeting notices. Yes, you can definitely have multiple events on the same day. So say we have progress reports due today, and that's the 20th. And now I need to add another event. Now I can also say that we have a lot of staff meetings. We could say something like that. And now under the 20th, you'll see both meetings here. All right, and so yes, I see a couple of questions about, is this being recorded? Yes, this is all recorded, and after the conference, they will be posted back to the conference website, and once those recordings are available, then we will let you know. We don't have, it just says, when does the chat feature become available to us? I'm not sure if you're a teacher level user or an admin level user. The chat will everything will be available at the same time. So once the whole new redesign goes live, so next week, the chat will be available. As for admin level users, we do not have an ETA at the moment. And as I say, yeah, the new look will go live next week. All right, and is this feature available for admin level users? Are you referring to the calendar or to the chat? The calendar is available for everybody. So this is the admin page, and with the teacher page is exactly the same. You have the calendar feature. The chat option, again, is just only available to provider level users at this time. Yes, I know. It's like to announce chat and to announce a calendar, definitely a session I was hoping to do in person, just to kind of see your reaction and your questions out loud and such. As I'm looking through. So can you send calendar invites to IEP team members? These are all suggestions and things that we have thought about to implement in our future phases. So right now was just the ability to be able to add an event and link it to your homepage notices, but we have definitely considered the options of being able to like kind of send a calendar invite, again, link to a personal calendar or an Outlook calendar. We are definitely looking into those processes of kind of sharing and linking. A chat that came in is, if you're just manually entering an event, if you go here, so right now it's just event name and it's just date. So it was asked if there's going to be a time option. That is a good suggestion. If you do happen to have just kind of like our e-signature feature, we came out with that process, and based on a lot of the feedback, what we saw was needed by the users, we were able to implement those suggestions and those features. So if a time option would be really beneficial, definitely submit that suggestion so that way we can kind of work it in. That one would definitely be easier than linking it to Outlook, adding a time field, not too hard at all. All right, well, I do, at least I'm scrolling through and at least I get to smile because I see a lot of just shed a tear of joy. That was really funny, and everybody saying yay and nice feature. So it is really, I'm glad to be able to see that everybody is excited about the calendar and about the chat. As I'm just scrolling back a little bit, the material should be on the conference webpage where you click join event. There should be a link there to download the materials. Okay, and I did see a couple new chats came in. Oh, love the updates and happy to see new features. Yes, definitely. You're welcome. As I say, we are always taking the suggestions, of course, depending on the time of year, which CalPADS has kind of taken over most of our programming time. But we definitely review all the suggestions to see how we can best implement it into the system, definitely. All right, and Laura, I'm looking through the chat. If you happen to see anything from the Q&A that's coming in that you want me to answer, I have the time.
All right, most of them are just questions in regards to how it connects with the other providers within SEIS, and I think you've already answered that. So if you, so it's not a shared calendar at this time, but that should hopefully be coming in phase 2. So a lot of the questions are just surrounding how to be able to utilize this calendar and share it amongst the other users in SEIS.
Awesome. Yes. So just because I see him coming in again, I just want to say, oh, thank you. Every time somebody says this is awesome and exciting, thank you. We did it based on what you needed and based on your requests. We got a thing about a video. So yes, all sessions, including this one, are being recorded. So after the conference, it will take a little bit of time to get all of these videos kind of downloaded, generated, and uploaded to a server. So it might take a little bit of time, but yes, they are recorded and will be available. Will you create the ability to drop in attachments? That is a good one. That isn't something that we had necessarily thought about. So if that is something that you feel would be helpful to you, definitely send that into SEIS as a suggestion. So again, as we're looking at the suggestions that come in, that's how we can see what new features or new updates to do. All right, can you review the download calendar again? Yes, definitely. So on the, oh, let me go out of here. So from here, just you click on the options icon, and then you just simply put in a start date and end date for whatever date range you want to download. So if you want to download your entire school year, if maybe you already entered, you projected all of your dates, you can do whatever date range you like. So I'm just going to say happen to be from November 1st to November 30th, because maybe I just want this particular month, and then click generate report. Where I think there may be a tad bit of confusion is because it does download, it doesn't just open up. You just have to know where your downloads download. So sometimes, like I happen to be in Chrome, and I know for most Chrome users, the downloads will download right to a toolbar. Sometimes a download will go to a download folder. Sometimes it'll go to your desktop, depending on how you have your download set up. So just kind of know where that is, because that's where the Excel document will be downloaded to. And then I'll just open it up again, where then you can just see all of the information. Now, if it linked from a meeting notice, so a student for an IEP or for any particular meeting, it will, that's why we have the SEIS ID column. So in case you know, for whatever reason needed to know the ID to identify the student, we included the SEIS ID column, which will only display for the students when it linked from the meeting notice form. And good question, Sarah. So do you recommend, or how do you recommend we make these suggestions through the contact SEIS? Yes. The contact SEIS just goes to our SEIS help desk, and then they will escalate any suggestions for us to review as a team and decide what we are able to implement. All right, so that is that. I'm going to take a look through both. But again, this is the redesign that will be live next week with the calendar and the chat. I know there, and then the Q&A will also be downloaded and sent to all attendees as well. So all the questions that Laura is answering right now, we will download those after the session, after the conference, and then those will be sent out to the attendees. And because I know that I see some kind of lengthy questions in here that might take a little bit of reading or research to determine what the answer is. So some of those might not be answered right away. We might have to take a look into those after the session. So one of the questions, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase a little bit, is that will there not be a way to have items that apply to your school just show up on your homepage, such as like DRDP or reports and things like that? I'm not sure if that was referring to the calendar to have an item added, or if that's referring to just a new homepage notice or not. We have not made any updates to homepage notices or anything like this. This is just for just the new look of the page. If you have any particular suggestions just about anything else in SEIS, new reports or new homepage notices to create, then that can go, you know, to the contact SEIS, to the help desk as well, so we can review your request. Yes, and I think that is it as well. As I'm going through, as I say, we have 140 questions to try to scroll through. We knew we'd get a lot of different questions throughout here as well. So with that, that is actually the end of our session. To go over this information, as I say, download the materials so that way you can review it. However, when the feature does go live, we will have a set of materials to provide in the release notes as well. So not everybody was able to attend this session, not everybody was able to attend the conference. So On the conference website where you clicked join event, there should be a link there to download the materials. And then again, when this feature is released, we will send an email to all of the users within SEIS right to your message center. And we will provide you with these updates and the screenshots, and basically the session materials is pretty much the materials of how the feature works. So we will provide all that to you when the feature is released as well. So I know the next session starts at 10:30. Everything is going promptly. I am going to continue to stay on, but if for any reason you need to sign off and you want to prepare for your next session, you can definitely do that. We have about 10 more minutes, and I will just continue to answer questions. And so thank you all for attending the session. Again, we were really excited to announce this information because we definitely needed a redesign. The Q&A that's being downloaded, that is actually going to be sent to the attendees. So anybody who registered for this session, that's where we are going to send the Q&A to those specific people. Otherwise, it may not be clear if we just sent it out, maybe what the question was referring to, because they weren't in the presentation as well. You are welcome, everyone. The other question I just see come in is our SEIS calendar to our Google Calendar. The ability to share is not live yet. That is something that we are looking into on how to link this calendar to a Google Calendar or Outlook and such. So definitely something that we are looking into. And I am still here, by the way. I'm just watching the things come in. You are welcome. We don't have an exact date. It will be just next week. We have a couple last testing things to do and make sure that everything, you know, programming wise is good before we release it. So sometimes those days can vary. Thank you. Thank you. You are welcome. Yeah, so once we send you the information and once you get the recording, you can do with it what you wish. If you want to share it with somebody so they can watch the recording as well, you can do that. You are welcome. Let's say the, oh yes. So anybody who happened to log in late, I'm glad you happened to say this. No, the gray here, we are on our testing site because the feature is not available yet. So this gray bar is just an indication that we are in our development site. So no, it will continue to be green. And this will be available again next week.
Where can they download the materials? On the conference site?
Yeah, it should be available on the conference website, like where you clicked join session. There should be an option right next to it for downloading materials. Are you not seeing that ability? Because everything has been uploaded.
I did. We just had a few users asking, and I know that if they click the paperclip next to the session, it is a little delayed. I don't know. Yeah, so there was a paper.
Here we go. Here, I'll show you all.
Yeah,
so here's the conference website. And so, okay. And then right here, this is where you can download. I apologize. I thought it was a link. I didn't realize it was an icon. So you actually just click on the attachment icon and that will download the materials. All right, so we are going to go ahead and in the session now, it looks like everything that I could possibly quickly answer and scroll through has been answered. You are all welcome. So now we know for each of the remaining sessions, this is how you download the materials. I did see a question, is there a way to, there's not a way right now to auto-populate certain information. Right now, it will just pull into your homepage notice. There's not a way to have it auto update for somebody else. Now with specifics for each case manager, I am going to actually refer to Laura real quick. This does not, is it a one-to-one, like it just displays on the person who created it? Or is it going to display for any providers tied to that student when the meeting notice is created?
I believe, so I want to say in the testing phases, we saw it populated for the SEPA level user. I remember, we would definitely have to test it and see if it's going to be linked to all the providers, and maybe in the information that we provide them, the information, you know, with the notice and the announcement, we can definitely answer that question.
Yes, definitely. So that was one of the things, as I say, it's still in our testing environment. We have a couple testing things left to do, but this was the general concept of the feature. Yes, we will definitely have that answer prepared. So when we do the release and we send you the release notes through the message center, that all that information will be available. Okay, there's that. And for each of the sessions, they do actually cut us off, turn off the session at the 20, because all sessions will be 50 minutes from the 30 to the 20. So it will actually cut us off in the next couple minutes. So I just want to, again, say thank you to everybody who is still on. We still have, gosh, over 500 people in the session. Thank you for attending. I really hope, or we all really hope, that you like the redesign and you are finding the new features, the calendar and the chat helpful. And again, any suggestions that you have, definitely don't hesitate to contact SEIS, the help desk, and let us know what you think. And hopefully I will see you in one of my next sessions.